What is up, everybody? My name is Cryptic King, and I am going to give my review on the multiplayer side of Vanguard. I haven't played the campaign, I haven't played the zombies, and I don't think I'm going to. Campaign's just not a thing that I thoroughly enjoy anymore with Call of Duties. I enjoyed Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, but I think nowadays, campaigns in Call of Duty are kind of just... There's only so many stories you can tell before it just comes hackneyed. So, regardless of all that, zombies, obviously, it's something that only Treyarch can do very well. Every time Sledgehammers or Infinity Ward has tried to do something like zombies, like Extinction Mode and Call of Duty Ghosts with aliens, which I thought was pretty cool, it just doesn't pan out the same way that the game mode Zombies does with Treyarch. Even though Cold War was kinda, the first time I ever think, in my opinion, where I disliked zombies entirely. But regardless of all of that, let's talk about the multiplayer version of Vanguard. Now, the very first negative that people are going to bring up all the time is skill-based matchmaking. But I'm going to tell you, from my perspective, my opinion, the SBMM in this game is not at all as aggressive as it is in Cold War, and is right around how it was in the very beginning of Modern Warfare. There is skill-based matchmaking. If you are a good player with a high score per minute, high KD, you're not going to go up against Timmy No-Thumbs who are so oblivious to anything that's going on with the map. You're going to face up against kids who are aware of what's going on. If they see you on the radar, they're going to look at the radar. If they see you kill a teammate and they see that death icon above hit their teammate's head, they're going to go investigate. That's what's going to happen. But I'm going to tell you, from my opinion, I've already dropped the V2 rocket. I don't reverse boost. I have a 1.9 KD overall. My domination KD is a 2.2. I had a very bad start. The reason why I had a bad start in Vanguard is because if you played the beta and you got up to a certain level, when you first played Vanguard, like the full release version, you were able to get the Rat-a-Tat SCG that was fully kitted out with the best pretty much attachments in the game, allowing you to basically run the fucking game for the first couple of days, while everyone else had to progress and actually get the attachments for the SCG. That's what I had to go through. Get the attachments and suffer, the high time to kill you get when you don't have the right attachments for the SCG. So that made me suffer from... So at the very start of the game, I had like a 1.3. Already jumped up to a 1.9. So I'm going to tell you right now, skill-based matchmaking is not as aggressive as people are trying to make it out to be. What is happening is at the very beginning of the game cycle, once they first hopped on, Vanguard or the Sledgehammer games, the algorithm didn't know where to place them, whether they're a good player or whether they're a bad player. So at the first couple of days they were playing, they were able to get into very easy lobbies. Once they started to, once the algorithm started picking up, okay, they can get this many kills in the match, they can get this many captures, or their score per minute is this much, and their KD is this much, they get this many kills and this many deaths, then they said, okay, they belong in these lobbies. And they just aren't good enough to actually hang in those lobbies. So if you're a very good player, let's say around a semi-pro or pro level, if you're that good, these lobbies are going to be no hassle to you. With blitz pacing 18 versus 18, they're not going to be able to find enough players to have a lobby that's full of kids with 2 KDs. Maybe if you live on the West Coast, where you got about like 40 million people in California alone, probably even a lot more than that. But yeah, they're going to have a large player pool to find, and maybe you do go up against kids with 2 KDs all the fucking time. But I live in the Midwest, so finding a lot of players with 2 KDs or above with high score minutes is pretty hard. So I think my lobbies are definitely not as aggressive people are making out to be. So that is the first negative, right? Skill-based matchmaking is in the game, but on a positive note, it's not as aggressive as it is in Cold War. It's definitely manageable. And I myself has already got a V2 rock in the first couple of days of this game being released. It's not that bad. Anyone's trying to make it out to be are just not good at the game, I feel like. Honestly, because I'm telling you right now, it is more rare for me to end the game with a lower KD than a 2 than it is for me to end the game with single-digit deaths with like 40 kills plus. Right? Let me just reiterate that. It's more rare for me to end a game with less than a 2 KD than it is for me to end a game with like 40 plus kills with only single-digit deaths. The game is honestly enjoyable, but I'm going to say this. This game does not play like any other Call of Duty, especially on domination. When you play domination, you're going to get spawn trap if you let it happen. And there's no flanking. You can't just go off in this other route and be completely unseen by enemies. With blitz pacing and assault pacing, you're going to have a lot of players that are watching every angle. The only way you can progress through these maps and get back map position is you have to fight. You have to fight for positions in this game to get angles. You can't flank. You have to just face it head on. And I think the best way to go about doing this is just go for streaks. So if you get spawn trap and domination, you have to sit tight a little bit. You have to camp a little bit. You have to get your little kills going, get a bombing run. That allows you to just basically, no enemy's going to be in the middle of the map anymore because you have to go inside. And if you stay along live enough, get a streak like a dog, or get the dogs, you know what I'm saying? Then they can't be outside and they can't be inside either. It allows you to progress and get actual map control and capture like the B flag or something, get out of your spawn trap. For some reason with Sledgehammer games, even with World War II, they seem to have a problem with making maps where you don't get spawn trapped. That was a problem that I faced in World War II as well. If you got spawn trapped, you were pretty much screwed. I don't know why they keep making the spawn so far deep in the map, but it is what it is. The maps are enjoyable. They definitely have their own type of pace and flow, but it's not like something you would expect in a normal Call of Duty. I, for one, enjoy it. It feels more like Battlefield, like you're playing Conquest or something, the way you have to, like Operation Metro and Battlefield 3, where basically you had to just keep fighting to push the enemies back. You couldn't just find a flank route or something. That's how it feels to me. And this is completely off script, that's why I'm just rambling at this point. But this is my review. This is how I honestly feel about the game. It's enjoyable. I think it's better than Modern Warfare. I think it's better than Cold War. I definitely put it top 5 in my honest opinion. Right around Black Ops 4, Call of Duty Ghosts. I know a lot of people might disagree with me in that, but I found Call of Duty Ghosts actually very enjoyable. I think it's the best Call of Duty ever. But as soon as I say that, I bet everyone's clicking off right now like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But Vanguard is definitely enjoyable. The very big negative that is not skill-based matchmaking, people may say the balancing in the game, the SCGs, the MP40, the Type 100s, they're basically running the map right now, they're running the game right now, and that's true. I feel like the vital proficiency is definitely something that needs to either be taken out of the game or be given to more weapons, or needs to be significantly nerfed in some type of way. I think having vital proficiency only available to a certain amount of guns just allows those guns to be broken. I mean, there's no reason for you to use a gun that doesn't have the vital proficiency. If you don't know what it does, vital proficiency allows you to get a headshot with a torso shot. It increases the critical area. So instead of a headshot, you can shoot the torso and it will still count as a headshot. This allows someone with the SCG to literally two-shot you across the map if they hit you both times in the torso. And considering aim assist aims right at the torso, and with people with mouse who have good aim, they're going to be aiming at that level as well. You're pretty much getting two-shot all the time with SCGs with very good players. So that is something that Call of Duty definitely needs to, or Sledgehammer Games needs to look at, on how to basically take it out of the game, nerf it, or give it vital proficiency to more weapons than just the ones they have right now. I know the Type 100 gets it. It literally allows the Type 100 SMG to two-shot. It's absolutely ridiculous. SCG two-shots, and whatever guns have the vital proficiency, it allows them to basically two-shot as well. The bar is also decent. I wouldn't say it's OP as people are making out to be. A lot of times in this game, you're going to be in close range engagements, close quarters combat, and that bar just can't hang right there. It's going to get absolutely destroyed. So I think the bar is not as OP as people make it out to be. But so that's a negative right now, is weapon balancing. Another negative is the spawns. The spawns are just as bad as they were in Call of Duty Ghosts when they first launched. For some reason, you can be on the A flag, literally capping it, and the enemies will spawn on top of that flag. You can honestly have A, B captured, the enemies only have C, and for some reason they'll have some flanky spawn where they spawn on A. Like, the enemies will literally spawn on your home flag, even if their home flag is C. It happens quite, I would say it's actually consistently, It'll only be like one enemy, but it's enough to make you get irritated, especially if you're streaking when you're trying to reload and back in your spawn, and then one of the enemies spawn there. Also, another problem is that you can capture the B flag, and for some reason, the players will literally fucking spawn on top of the B flag with you and kill you. And I think maybe it has to do with the blitz pacing. You know, you have 36 players on the map. Finding the right amount of spawns is definitely going to be difficult. But right now, the spawns are absolutely atrocious. Especially if you play Dome, you know the spawns are just absolutely abysmal. You can be on, you have C captured, B captured. They'll spawn on top of C. They'll spawn on top of B. They'll even spawn right on top of you wherever you're at on the middle of the map. I don't know why the spawns are so janky right now. But it was how it was in Call of Duty Ghosts, and it got fixed eventually. Only took them about January to do so, though. And considering it's still November, hopefully they fix it a lot faster than it took in Call of Duty Ghosts. But considering Sledgehammer Games, right now we haven't even gotten our first weapon balance, I think, right now. So, but I do have faith in Sledgehammer Games. They did revamp World War II, turn around with the factions or whatever it's called. I kind of forgot what if you're like infantry, they got like different perks or whatever. If you played World War II, you know what I mean when they revamped the whole system. But I trust Sledgehammer Games to turn this game around. But when it comes to certain people on the internet, you know, basically, it doesn't matter what Call of Duty does. They're always trying to find a negative. They're always trying to say that this Call of Duty is worse. They're trying to find any of the best news. I'm going to talk about a certain person, and that's the Codfather, if you guys ever see him on YouTube. First off, I don't understand why anyone actually believes a word that he says. The dude is literally full of shit. Alright, let's be honest here. The guy literally talks shit about Birdman for reverse boosting, and I was siding with him for a while, right? But when it turns out that he himself was reverse boosting, referring to Codfather when he was reverse boosting as well, I mean, it kind of takes out, you know, the credibility of someone. If you know someone's online talking shit about someone for doing something while they're doing that same exact thing, that takes a lot of credibility and integrity away from that person. And when he's telling you just how shameless Treyarch is, or how shameless, you know, the CEO of Activision is, yeah, they are. They are a business. I mean, if you're trying to say that the fact of the matter is, if you think it's a negative that Call of Duty is making attachments or the guns that are very good at the game be unlocked later, and then if you're trying to say it's a negative that they keep the level, let's say to 70, so that keeps players' retention, people, that's not really a negative. You can't blame a company that creates video games for trying to implement systems that cause the people to play more of their game. The truth of the matter is, if the best gun in the game gets unlocked at the very beginning, which is the SCG by the way, so I don't know why he would even try to make an argument that the best guns in the game are unlocked later when we know the SCG is literally the first unlock, but whatever. I digress. If you are a game company that is like Activision, which means you create Call of Duty games, which means that they're trying to keep player retention very high, definitely throughout an entire year. It has to last the entire year until you can drop your very newest Call of Duty. You want to keep player retention very high, which is why they have the dark matter camos, and that's probably why they're keeping the retention high by making the levels 70. And the camos, you have a lot of camos on how to unlock them. You have to do a lot of different challenges. I don't want to. I'm just sorry to say this, but it's definitely not something to complain or look at as a negative. It's not shameless whatsoever. Every company, every game is going to make systems that try to keep the people playing. That's kind of the point of a game company, is to keep the people buying their games, but also playing their games. And if you're like Activision, if you know, okay, I gotta keep these people entertained for an entire year, they're going to definitely implement systems that make the players play more. And if it's definitely grindy, yeah, that kind of, like an RPG game, like an MMORPG game, if Call of Duty implements systems that make the game really grindy, yeah, it kind of sucks. but I don't think it's shameless, and I definitely don't think it's something to look at like it's evil or it's like some malpractice in the gaming industry. It's kind of normal. Now, when it came to like loot drops or supply drops back in like Advanced Warfare or whatever, when you had all these different variants, and the best ones were like the AS1 Speakeasy, the Bal 27 Obsidian Steed, and like the HBRA3 or whatever, the Inferno, I think it was called. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, now that was kind of fucking scummy because you had variants in the game that were definitely really good, better than the originals, right? And basically, the only way to get them was to either make new accounts, because for some reason they made a new account. It seemed like you got the guns through the supply drops, but also buying a lot of supply crates, allowing you to get better chances at unlocking those guns. And obviously, the CNC Speakeasy, they ran the game. If you weren't using them, you're basically at a disadvantage. Now that was shameless. Okay, Cold trying this. I don't think the bundles in this game are going to be as bad as they were in Advanced Warfare. Obviously, it's a gaming company. They're going to be trying to make money. If you think for a second, though, that the bundles in this game are going to make you be at a disadvantage over the person next to you, kinda. But that's only if you don't have certain guns already unlocked and have a high levels. If you first come into the game, you have 0 attachments. It makes no difference whether the person has a bundle or they're a higher level than you. I mean, if your SCG is at level 0 and you're going against someone with a level 70 SCG, or someone who bought a bundle giving themselves a level 70 SCG, it really makes no difference. You're going to be at a disadvantage, whatever. If you come late into this game trying to use weapons that have 0 attachments, you're going to be screwed regardless. And I know I've been rambling on for quite a long time, but I want to talk about the positives now. The very first positive is that the hit reg in this game is extremely good. The hit reg in this game is definitely a lot better than Cold War. If you played Cold War on PC, you know what I'm talking about. It just didn't seem like it was connecting. It kind of felt like the bullets were always just ghosting. And that seemed like a big issue on the netcode side of Cold War. And Vanguard, it's perfect. I'm telling you right now, the guns, the bullets do not feel off whatsoever. They feel like they hit. You may experience some rubber banding when packet burst arises. That's something that Vanguard does need to fix. Packet burst is also another issue. It hasn't affected me as much as other players, but it does show up here and there, and I don't know why it is. But that's something to look out for. If you do have bad internet, I suggest you open up your ports. For some reason, the Vanguard servers, they have a hard time sending and receiving packets. And what makes that even worse is when you have a strict NAT type. So I always have open. So that's probably why I'm not suffering from the packet loss burst issue as much as other people. But if you are playing Vanguard, you really need to try to open up your ports, allowing yourself to have an open NAT type, because the packets being received and lost or being received and sent have, like, I don't know, a transmission issue or whatever. It's just not as effective. Like, that's something usually Call of Duty has never had a problem with, was internet. I always felt like the servers were always fine, even back when it was peer-to-peer. But yeah, I think in this game, the maps are decent. There's a lot of content in this game. The only problem is that, the meta right now is definitely going to be SCGs, MP40s. But I'm telling you right now, the maps, there's a lot of them. There's not a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. But it's not like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's not like Cold War, where you felt like, is this it? This finally felt like a Call of Duty that was like Modern Warfare 3 in a sort, where you just had a shitload of maps, a shit ton of weapons, and, obviously still has the Modern Warfare side of things where you have 10 attachments on a weapon, but you do only have, there is no primary gunfighter perk where it allows you to have, let's say, 2 perks in one slot. So you can't have Ghost and Ninja at the same exact time. And you also can't have the second perk with another second perk. But all in all, this game is fine. It's definitely something to look. It's definitely a good addition. For all the people who think this game is like absolutely abysmal, I think they're on the bandwagon of just hating every Call of Duty that releases. You can hand them anything at this point and it'll still be disliked. What they want is the most rudimentary. I will not pronounce that word anymore. But they just want 3-lane maps with like AN-94s and just raid. Like the raid from Black Ops 2 maps. They just want simple design. They want simplicity. And they're just not going to get that anymore. It may cater to those people, but for the majority of people out there, those Call of Duties like Black Ops 2, they're boring nowadays. You can go back, but that's nostalgia. If you get someone that's like 10 years old and try going back on Black Ops 2, there's not a lot of content there. The score streaks are definitely better than anything we've seen right now with the Swarm, the K9, the Warthog, right? There's a lot of content there in the score streaks, and there's definitely a lot of good maps, but all in all, no one is going to tell you that the content in Black Ops 2, if you got a new person coming into the game, they're going to find that game boring. And that's exactly what Call of Duty knows. That's why we have Ground War, Modern Warfare. That's why we have literally a Battle Royale. That's why we have zombies on Sledgehammer games. There needs to be more. And that's why we have blitz pacing, assault pacing, tactical pacing. There's a lot of things that Call of Duty is implementing that people just don't like, and they don't know why they keep implementing it. It's because simplicity isn't working anymore. You need to go above and beyond to stay competitive. Fortnite, PUBG, you can't compete with games like that anymore. I remember back years ago that there's a video, I think from like FTWB Dobbins or whatever his name was, saying how there will never be a game that can keep up with the archaic style of like Call of Duty, where you can just simply sit down, plug and play, and grind for hours. But Battle Royale then showed up with H1Z1, PUBG, Warzone, Blackout, Apex Legends. Now there's multiple games where you just sit down, plug and play. And the only competition Call of Duty had back then was, I guess, Minecraft or Battlefield. Those are the only games, and the only one even in Call of Duty's market, like GTA 5, that's not in Call of Duty's market. It's not a first-person shooter. So the only game that was competitive with Call of Duty, it was Battlefield. But now you have Apex Legends. You got PUBG when it was, hyped up. You had Fortnite. There needs to be more content there. And sadly, blitz pacing, assault pacing, and having maps that are large with multiple sights or lines of sight, and you're basically saying, how the fuck do I maneuver around this map over and over again? The truth of the matter is, that's how it's going to be from now on. Call of Duty, Treyarch, Activision, Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, they have to adapt. They need to make content there. They need to make sure that these maps are heavily paced, giving people safe spaces so they can have that play style. Because the truth of the matter is, if you try to make a Black Ops 4 map that has all the corners blocked out so no one can sit in there, what you're essentially going to have is an absolute freaking bloodbath, an absolute massacre, because there's no places to really hide at. And you're going to have, 36 people on the map? You need to give people spaces where they can heal, reload, or whatever. And truth of the matter is, that's how Call of Duty is going to be from now on. So if you dislike this Vanguard, dislike this Modern Warfare, dislike Cold War, it's not changing anytime soon. You might just give up on the franchise right now. It's going to be this way. But the truth of the matter is, I'm telling you, Vanguard is fun. It's broken right now. Couple of perks, couple of attachments, couple of guns running the meta, but that's always been there. A94, Scar H, Black Ops 2, the FAL on PC. You go to Advanced Warfare, the ASM1, the Bal 27. Go to Call of Duty Ghost, it was the Vector, the MTAR. When the Ripper came out, that was OP. The Honey Badger. We've always had meta weapons that are broken. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the very first one, the M16, literally 3D bursting across the fucking map, whatever, with stopping power and deep impact. And then you have World at War with the MP40 with 64 drum mag. There's always been broken meta in the very beginning of the game that eventually got patched, or they stayed OP throughout the entire, life cycle. Like Black Ops 2, the M8A1 or whatever. that could forward burst. That gun was OP as well. Truth of the matter is, I know I said that a couple times already. It's kind of getting redundant. This is how Call of Duty is gonna be from now on. So if people like Codfather is gonna tell you that, that he knows how Call of Duty should develop a map, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's an industry. You gotta be competitive. And the truth of the matter is, the people that are complaining about SBMM, the people that are complaining about how the game is being made with all the attachments and how this map with all these lines of sight, you people just haven't adapted. I've been having very high KDs throughout Modern Warfare. That SBM. I've had a high KD with Cold War. That had SBMM. I really have a high KD now. I dropped multiple nukes in Modern Warfare. I didn't really drop that many nukes in Cold War, but that's because the maps I feel like were too bad. I don't think SBM was really the issue, but the truth of the matter is, Cold War had maps that allowed for trading. So like you get one kill, 2 enemies are behind your ass because how small the maps were. That what made Cold War difficult. I wouldn't say the skills of the players I was going up against were just so par on me that I couldn't handle it. But the truth of the matter is, it's kind of hard to kill someone and then instantly notice 2 to 3 people jumping out of here and there ready to trade because the truth of the matter is the maps were too small. Vanguard is fine. It's a good way to go. It's definitely something that I feel like they should keep implementing. And Black Ops 2, those type of games, just the 3-lane maps that are easy to go about with a good flow, with not a lot of content in there. I mean, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Piccadilly, the 3 buses in the middle. Yeah, that's kind of what's going to keep happening. There's going to have a bunch of shit thrown in the map because there's going to be a lot of side of lines. You need to camp here, sit here, reload here, go prone here. That's what's going to be happening. And you people need to see it from that perspective. Call of Duty has a lot of competition now. Simplicity isn't working. Fortnite has to release a new content update with Avengers swords here. Thanos. Gotta have these concerts going on. It's kind of hard for Call of Duty to compete with something doing all that. And it's kind of hard for any game company to compete with Apex Legends. Right? So that's why all the content is coming. I talked a lot. I brought up a lot of points. Obviously, I kind of talked more from a business perspective and a developing perspective than the actual game itself. But it's no different than any other Call of Duty that I can bring up. Right now, the negatives are weapon balancing, always there. Spawn balancing, always there. The SBM is the only big issue that I can have a complaint about in this game, and it's not even that aggressive compared to previous titles. It's definitely manageable, doable, and I've already dropped the V2 rocket in one of the sweatiest lobbies. So, to say that you just... I had a comment on YouTube literally say that he started the game with a 2 KD, and then because of the SBM, he dropped all the way down to a 0.89. What that means is that he just didn't belong there. Some people are just not competitive enough to hang in certain lobbies, and so they go down. The reason why that kid had a 2.89 is probably because he started out with a Rat-a-tat STG while everyone else had no attachments, and then when they started to get attachments, he started getting shit on, or she started getting shit on, whatever gender he is. That's probably what happened. 30-minute review. I talked long enough. No script, whatever. Please leave a like and subscribe. My name is Cryptic King, and peace out. And give me, by the way, give me your opinion on how you think about Vanguard. Do you think it's a good way to go? Do you think my perspective on how Call of Duty needs to stay competitive? Do you think this is the right way to go about it? Or do you have different ideas on how Call of Duty can kind of make the game more, competitive while also maintaining the integrity and the simplicity of the franchise? Give me your opinions. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.